There once was a young boy named Timmy who loved playing Roblox. Every day, he would spend hours building and exploring different virtual worlds. His parents were happy that he had found something that he enjoyed so much, but they started to worry when they noticed a change in his behavior. Timmy began to spend more and more time playing Roblox, even staying up late at night to play. His parents would try to encourage him to take breaks, but he would become agitated and insist on playing just a little longer. Soon, they noticed that Timmy was starting to see things in the game that weren't really there. At first, it was just small things. Timmy would tell his parents about a glitch he saw, or a strange character that he encountered. But as time went on, he started to see more and more disturbing things in the game. He would talk about a dark figure that was following him around, or a ghostly voice that whispered in his ear. His parents tried to explain to him that it was just a game, but Timmy was convinced that what he was seeing was real. He stopped sleeping and eating properly, and he would spend all of his time in front of the computer screen, lost in the world of Roblox. One day, Timmy's parents woke up to find him missing from his bed. They searched the house, but he was nowhere to be found. Suddenly, they heard a strange noise coming from Timmy's room. They rushed over to investigate and found that the computer was still on, and Roblox was still running. But something was different this time. The virtual world that Timmy had been playing in was no longer just a game. It had become a terrifying nightmare, a place of darkness and evil. Timmy was nowhere to be found, but his avatar was still in the game, trapped in a world that had become all too real. His parents tried to shut down the computer, but it wouldn't turn off. The game had taken on a life of its own, and there was no escape. They watched in horror as Timmy's avatar was dragged into the darkness, screaming for help. After their son's disappearance, Timmy's parents were devastated. They couldn't bear the thought of losing him forever, so they decided to take matters into their own hands. They started playing Roblox themselves, determined to find a way to rescue their son from the dark forces that had taken him. At first, they were skeptical. They didn't believe in ghosts or curses, and they thought that Timmy's obsession with the game had just driven him to madness. But as they played, they started to see things that they couldn't explain. They saw shadowy figures lurking in the corners of the screen, and they heard whispers that seemed to be coming from within the game itself. Despite their fear, Timmy's parents pushed on. They knew that they were the only ones who could save their son, and they were willing to do whatever it took. They spent hours exploring the virtual world, searching for clues that might lead them to Timmy. Eventually, they stumbled upon a hidden area of the game that they had never seen before. It was a dark and twisted place, full of traps and dangerous creatures. They knew that they were getting closer to their son, but they also knew that the dangers were growing greater. As they pressed on, they saw glimpses of Timmy's avatar in the distance. He was trapped in a cage, surrounded by monsters that were closing in on him. His parents knew that they had to act fast. They fought their way through the creatures, using all of their skills and knowledge to survive. Finally, they reached Timmy's cage, and they broke it open. Timmy was weak and terrified, but he was alive. They embraced him, tears streaming down their faces, and they knew that they had saved him from the dark forces that had taken him. Together, the family returned to the real world, but they knew that they could never forget what they had seen in Roblox. They had come face to face with a world of darkness and terror, and they had emerged victorious. Timmy's parents would never let their son play the game again, but they were grateful for the experience, knowing that it had brought them closer together and had saved their son from a terrible fate.